How you start your website should be like how you start your day. I like to start with a fresh shave and a filtered shower. Then I'll prepare a fresh cup of Brita water to heat it up.
He's heating up.
Before I get a scoop or two of fresh ground coffee. I'll pour in the hot water into my French press. Then I'll let it brew, and this is where you gotta be patient, y'all. So in the meantime, I'll continue preparing by adding almond milk because the regular milk just don't do the body good, if you know what I mean. Let's top it off with a little bit of that sugar, and yes, I said sugar, right before we press that launch button. And now it's time for blast off. Let's go! Woo! Oh yeah, and don't forget to stir it up some to blend in those flavors.
He's on fire.
And that's how we start fresh on WordPress.
He's on fire.
Welcome to lesson 5. In this lesson, we're going to discuss creating basic marketing and sales funnels with WordPress. Now, let me first show you all some of my tutelage or my toolkit set up here. And I want to give you all some thought processes on going in different directions, because when it comes to creating basic marketing and sales funnels with WordPress, there are so many different routes you can go. So I encourage you to test what you want to test, do your thing, go the route you want to go. But I want to share with you and show you some options that I believe are very good to use. And then it gets your mind thinking of what are the alternatives if these options don't fly with you. So that's just how I like to approach things. I've already installed some plugins, just to save some time. And I'm going to uninstall or I'm going to activate and deactivate certain plugins based on what we're going to be covering in this lesson. However, right now at the basic level, I am using Cadence for the most part. So I'm using Cadence blocks, the free and pro version. I'm using Cadence conversions, which is a pop-up builder. And I'm also using the Cadence Pro or Cadence Theme Pro add-on. For my e-commerce, my first e-commerce option, I'm going to start off with SureCart, and that is the e-commerce plugin. And the second option is going to be WooCommerce. Now, you don't want them activated at the same time, so that's just a disclaimer. I'm letting you know. I just have it here installed, but it's not activated because I want you to see both routes. Now, the cool thing is with SureCart and WooCommerce, they're both e-commerce plugins. They're based off of your needs and what you want. SureCart is a headless plugin, and WooCommerce is a self-hosted plugin. And I actually have a video that you can watch the difference between WooCommerce and going the SureCart way. So I won't get too deep into that one. I'll tag that video or add that video to this video. However, I just wanted to let you all know that. Now with WooCommerce, when we use that plugin and we go that direction, we're going to pair it with another plugin called Cartflows that'll give us the ability to have more flexibility or more control over WooCommerce in order for us to think about how we want to create our marketing and sales funnels. I wanted to let you all know that just up front. That's how we're going to do this. Now, for marketing funnels, I'm going to keep it super, super simple. I'm not going to overcomplicate things. We're not going to turn this into what is a marketing funnel and a sales funnel lesson. I just want to give you the ideas and the overview of how you can approach doing that with WordPress. When it comes to marketing funnels, I'm typically talking about creating a 1 or 2, sometimes 3, but a 1 or 2 step process that collects information from a user. That is the key thing. It's collecting information from the user. So we're not thinking about a marketing funnel as in you doing email marketing campaigns or you doing Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn advertising. We're not talking about those kind of marketing funnels, just a simple, how are you able to collect information from the user and what happens next? When it comes to that, the best way to do that is going to be some type of form, because it's like, okay, you can market to somebody in some ways when it comes to just informing them of information, but when it comes to the collection of information, well, how do you get them in your email marketing tool in the first place? And a form is the best way to do that. For instance, I'm gonna go to pages here, I'm gonna click add new page. And now I'm in Gutenberg. I'm gonna click this toggle inserter here, and I'm going to look for Form Advanced. This is one of my favorite forms from Kadence because they have two. They have this Form Advanced, and then they have Form. So we're gonna do Form Advanced because this is what you wanna use when it comes to the marketing aspect of things. This regular form, in my opinion, is better off used for contact or for simple form creation. But if you wanna get a little bit more complicated, we wanna use the Form Advanced right here. So I'm gonna click this, and it says select form, but I haven't created any forms. So just think about that. When you start creating forms, you'll be able to select from the forms you create. It will save you so much time. So that's one key thing. I'm gonna click create new form. And an example would be, let's do contact with options. Just as an example, matter of fact, no, let's just do subscribe with name. Let's just do subscribe with name. And we can choose the style. Do you want infill? Do you want dark? I like how they've added these new infield and underline selections here, but we'll keep it basic for right now. Not because we basic, we just gonna keep it basic to keep it simple, because we ain't basic around here. All right, so we have give your form a title. I'm just gonna let it be that. And form description, there's no need for a description right now, not for these purposes. Simply put, we have a name field and an email field. And it looks like that's it. Like, where do we go from here? Well, if you click this right here, and for instance, you open up the settings, you can see that we have controls. We have the field controls. I can change the label, show the label, add a placeholder. We have some options here. In advance, I can do a couple of things as well too. Field name, field autofill, first name, last name. This is actually pretty cool. I really do like this, that Kadence gives you these abilities, and you can decide to make it conditional or not. You can hide this, show this if this says this and this says that. We'll save that for later in the official course. But this form here is very robust. For it to be a block and not a separate form plugin, this is very robust. So kudos to Kadence for this. Now, if we want to get the actual settings of the form, we don't just want to click on this block here. We want to click on the form, the whole thing, right? So boom, when I click on the whole thing, notice how the settings over here changed. Now we have settings over the whole form, which makes it a big difference on what we see. This is where things get sticky, y'all. This is where the juice gets good, and it's worth the squeeze. So when it comes to this, we have submit actions. What is submit actions? Simply put, when somebody submits, what happens next? Kadence gives you a lot of options. They even give you native ways in order to connect to your email marketing tool. Now, because I'm using the pro version of Kadence blocks, we have more abilities. But even if you're using the free, you still get a lot, okay? Natively, from Kadence alone, we have active campaign, auto respond, Brevo. Wow, I didn't know send in blue, change name. Okay. Convert kit, Fluent Form CRM, get response, MailChimp, MailerLite, redirect, and webhook. So these are what happens next. So for instance, if I wanted to connect this form to my MailChimp account, so when somebody enters an email and I want to push them into my subscriber list with MailChimp, I would click this right here. And notice how now we see email settings. And all you have to do is put in your API key for MailChimp, add that right here, and then your lists will come up, or audiences. I forgot how MailChimp does it because MailChimp is different. Every different email marketing tool has a different way how they categorize subscribers, right? So it's either gonna be some type of list, some type of tag, some type of audiences, something like that, where you'll pull that up here and then you can add them there. That's key. For email settings, notice how I have this email. Now these two were automatically there. I added MailChimp, but these two are automatically there. So for email settings, this is after the form is submitted, who gets an email. Sometimes you may want to get an email. It's very helpful to have this out. So you would fill in your email right here, and then when somebody submits the form, you would get an email. Some people like that, some people don't, but I want to let you know that's what that's for, because there's been many times where even I've gotten confused when I first started using this. But now I know what I know, and I know better, I do better, we grow better. So you have email right there, you have MailChimp, Then you have database entry settings. Well, what does that mean? The good thing about this is not only can you toggle on saving the user's IP address. Now this goes more for like privacy controls or GDPR, all those other things like that, right? Regulation, right? And it says save user device, saves the entrance device with the form data. So what device they use. That's actually pretty sweet as well. All this information goes over here to the back end. So if I go to Cadence and I go to forms, right here, Cadence forms, and we have form entries, we can see we have settings for the form. We can make forms right here, add new form. And then when somebody actually submits a form, we'll see the entry right here. And this is where that data is collected. So that's pretty sweet. Something that you guys got to know and you got to look at to be able to see this. You can make forms right here. You don't have to make forms in the Gutenberg editor, but also not only that, you can see the entries of the forms. Now, right now, I don't have analytics turned on, but if I had analytics turned on, I would also be able to see analytics, which is actually pretty cool. If I click this, it's gonna open up the form. This is where people will get confused because they'll say, okay, I'm in Gutenberg again, but am I on the page that I was adding the form to? No, this is almost like a separate experience. Same interface, you do the same things, except now you're only editing the form. Right here, the beauty is that I was able to add the form block and create a form on the page. But if I just wanted to create forms and edit the form by itself, this is the way I can edit the form by itself right here. So that's something I know can confuse a lot of people, but keep that in mind is that this is how we're able to edit our forms right here. And again, I don't have any analytics enabled, so we're not worried about that right now, okay? So let's click this, let's close that. So we have, again, email marketing tool settings, database entry settings, and then we have our messaging settings. Our messaging settings are about what message or what happens next. For instance, a success message. That kind of message helps give people indication on whether or not they submitted the form. It's very helpful because sometimes people will get angry if they don't know whether they submitted the form or not. So just keep that in mind. If I exit out of these, notice how those go away. I can hide after submit as well too. So just things for you to notate. I can style the form right here, just like I would any other block from Cadence, any other way. And I have my advanced settings. We have enable form analytics. So if we click this button here, if I go back here, this will be enabled. I will be able to see analytics directly from this form. That is sweet. So you have analytics, you have the description of the form, and you have entries, and then whoever made the form. If you don't understand that basic part right there, no matter what form tool you're using, you're not gonna understand anything about marketing funnels or sales funnels, because it's not a marketing funnel or a sales funnel if nothing has been collected and nothing is being executed. There's no processes happening. So I'm just trying to keep it simple. I'm no Russell Brunson. This is not ClickFunnels. This is not none of that stuff where you're like, oh, I can do X, Y, and Z, and we're gonna build this whole thing out. Not yet. We ain't there yet. I just wanna give you all a simple understanding. When it comes to a marketing funnel, we gotta collect information so we can start marketing to that person. And this is a great way to do so. That's why I love Cadence Forms, because it helps you avoid having to bloat your WordPress website with a whole bunch of form builders, third-party form builders, even though I do vouch and I do love using third-party form builders. Don't get me wrong, but that's only when I need more functionality that does not come out of Cadence, out of the Cadence Form Advanced block. That's when I really care about that. So that's key right there. All right, so we have name, we have an email. Yes, we can add more fields here. They have a lot of fields here for the form block. We have our standard fields here, text area, telephone, radio, checkbox, select right here. If I wanted to add radio right here, I can add a file. You can upload a file here. If I want to add more, I can add a date right here. So you see, I can continue to add more fields. Except, boom, just a quick little toggle right there. That's how you create marketing funnels. From the basic standpoint, you create your form, put it on a page, publish it so it's live. Boom. That's the start of your marketing funnel. Now, some of y'all are saying, yeah, but what about the landing page? We're not there yet. Yes, some people have a page first before they do the lead collection or information collection. Some people have the landing page and on the landing page, they're doing the lead collection or information collection. But you got to understand building out a form and why I would say a majority of a lot of the ways we're collecting information is some type of form. I noticed that a lot of people don't call it forms, when it comes to like the checkout area or the checkout form, or the whatever, but it's all form. It's all forms. Like templates, we call templates different things, but they're all templates. For the most part, most of the stuff when you're collecting information or data, it's a form. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's a form. So hopefully you've been informed with this information, but that's key right there too. We have a capacha here, a capacha, however you say, capacha, capacha, a tomato, and then we can add other block elements as well too. So that's something that you all need to understand and know, that when we talk about marketing and sales funnels, it's collection. We're collecting. That is the start of the funnel. Then from there, how are we delivering the message? Which way are we delivering the message to continue the marketing, right? Usually that's through email. That could be through social media, advertising, a whole bunch of other ways. But how do we get the information so we can have a one-on-one personalized experience, a direct relationship with the audience, with our customers, with our users, with our prospects? Well, the best way to do that is to get their email and even get their phone number for text messaging. But even still, you're collecting something so that way you can message them later. That's key. You got to think about that. So let's first start with that as far as creating forms when it comes to our marketing aspect of things. How do we start marketing? Well, you got to collect information. Now, from here, let me go back. When we talk about products, let's talk about products for a second here, because right now I have SureCart on. Let me go back to plugins and let you know that I'm using SureCart right now, but in a minute, I'll add WooCommerce and Cartflows. With SureCart, once you go through the whole onboarding process and all that stuff, it's going to create some pages for you. It's going to create a store checkout, a customer dashboard, and a shop page, right? It creates those things. The store checkout is a form. That's something for you all to understand. When people are checking out, they're giving you information, right? Unless you are just giving them free stuff. But when people are checking out, they're giving you information. Guess what? This is a form. Like, once I started understanding more about how like 80% of the way we're collecting information is through forms, it's all a form of a form, it really started to make more sense in my mind. So checkout, form. With SureCart, you're also able to create more forms. Like with Cadence, how you're able to create multiple forms, I can create as many forms as I want to have different experiences, different checkout experiences. I don't have to have my global checkout. This is the global checkout experience. But if I wanted to have different checkout forms for different products, different campaigns, I would create my forms right here. Very, very simple. That's where you would do with SureCart. Now, when it comes to products, we have some dummy products here. And what I like about SureCart is it makes it very simple for you to create a quick, fast, you in a hurry, you just need to whip something up real quick because you got to go out and pick up them kids, or you got to go to the gym, or you got to go to work, or you just got to go somewhere. You ain't got time, right? I like that SureCart when it comes to the way that it's set up, that you can easily, quickly create an instant checkout page. So if I go here and I click on, let's see, published right there, instant checkout, boom, I can put it in test mode right here. And then I'm gonna click save products right here, just because, we're gonna do that. View, and look, instantly, boom, sales funnel. Like that fast. Now, I know some of you are like, no, that's not the sales funnels that I see. I see them having this thing and then that step and then this page and that thing. Again, if you don't understand the basic concepts of this, all that other stuff don't matter. I see so many people that think that because they're not a baby anymore, that they can run before they crawl. That's not how this works, folks. You gotta crawl, then walk, then run. I don't care how old you are. If you don't understand this stuff, you got to start with the basics. And in this situation, this is becoming a sales funnel because I can purchase something right here really, really fast. And then after this step, typically you'll see a thank you pop-up, or you can redirect somebody to another page. Boom. And then they should get an email as well too. We'll get into that in a second. But we're already in the sales funnel phase and we didn't do too much at all, did we? I didn't do too much. So that's something for you to think about when it comes to your marketing and sales funnel. Before it was just for marketing. We were just collecting an email, collecting information. Now we're collecting credentials. We're collecting credit card information or debit card information. Like we're getting ready. We want the person to spend some monies, right? We want to spend some monies. So we did the marketing part. Now we're doing the sales part. That's key right there. So again, that's only if y'all want to whip up something really, really fast. SureCart has that option to create an instant checkout form. I love that about SureCart. That's key right there. Otherwise, we would just see the regular product page. So if, for instance, if we see product page is published right here, here's the URL slug. If I click this button here, it's going to open up the product page. See? Now, this is when you don't want that quick checkout way, for a user to be able to easily, quickly check out. So now I got to go through the old school sales funnel way. But with SureCart, it's even smooth. It's smoother than normal. With WooCommerce, you got to add some things onto it to make it really, really smooth. With SureCart, it's still smooth. So I can, look, I have a buy now button. Same thing with the instant checkout experience. Boom, I can buy right now. I'm back here getting ready to purchase the product. Sales funnel, that's key. If I want to add the cart, I can do so right here. So now we're going the old school way where we have a cart, we have review our cart right here. Okay, we can see all the products on our cart. Say I have multiple products. And then once again, I go to checkout. Boom, sales funnel. So that's key for you all to know that, yes, I'm saying the word sales funnel. Some people are going to say, that's not a sales funnel. That's not what, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I want people to understand the concept because I've seen too many people get confused. And I'm like, we got to simplify this stuff. Before we get too deep into the weeds, we got to simplify it, okay? So that's one thing that I want you all to see is that I could do the instant checkout. I can create a product and go that way. I can have a product page and go that way, or I cannot have a product page. A person can buy now, they can add the cart. It is what it is, but we don't have to overcomplicate things. So just keep that in mind when it comes to your marketing and sales funnels activities. Now, when we want to get deeper, a little deeper, and I won't get too deep, but when we want to get a little deeper with sales funnels, then we start talking about upsells and order bumps, as you can see right here, right? That's when we want to get deeper with it. What do I mean by that? For an order bump is typically something where, let's see, we have the checkout page, we have the checkout. Let's go to the checkout right quick. Let's say, oh, no, we're here. All right, so we're already here at the checkout. An order bump would be something where if we had another product that we wanted to sell on top of this, so when they're in the checkout, just like you see this little toggle right here, it should be as simple as them clicking a toggle. They're already here and they just got to click, check the box or uncheck the box, however they're going to do it, however you want to do it. That's order bump. That's simple. Don't overcomplicate it. If you are literally shopping at the grocery store, you have your cart, you're getting ready to check out. Right there by the checkout teller, or what do they call them? The register. So you're right there by the register. You see that candy bar, or your kid sees that candy bar, your nephew or your niece sees that candy bar, your wife, your husband sees that candy bar, and they get that candy bar and put it in the cart. That's considered a bump order or order bump. I said a bump order. We don't want to go there. So that's considered an order bump because it's right there. You're getting ready to check out. And you want to put that last little bit of thing in your cart, right? We're not going back to the aisles. We're not going back to the aisles to get something else. We're already checking out. There's people behind us. If we get out the line, we lose our space. If we get out the line, we lose our behind. If we get out the line, we go back behind. However you want to say it, that's an order bump. That candy bar going into your cart when you're at the register. That's what an order bump would be. So just keep that in mind. Some people are so confused on what order bumps are. And I'm like, that's it. An order bump is super, super simple. Create that, boom, boom. Order bump price, boom, boom. And that's it. We have there. And so we can just add this order bump. Where is this order bump going to show? We can add the condition, put it on a form. A person's getting ready to check out. They click that little toggle button. Boom. You just added more money to your pockets, right? You increase your average order value. That's a tactic. That's a strategy for you to make more money. Order bump. The difference between that and an upsell, because people get these confused. Remember, I said the order bump should be as easy as a switch or a toggle or a checkbox. Check it, switch it, flip it, whatever, like pancakes, do what you got to do. That's an order bump. Upsells, on the other hand, are when after the transaction happens, right? After you put in your credit card information and you press purchase, and then on the next screen, there's something selling you something. It's like an order bump. Both are selling you something else. Both are considered upsells. And I know it could be confusing because you're like, well, an order bump is an upsell, but is an upsell an order bump? See what I did there? You gotta think about that, right? They're both upsells, except an order bump is literally your bump. And there's strategy on this. Here's the thing. If you have a $100 product, do not make your order bump something worth $1,000. Like, let's just start there. If you have a $100 product, don't make something $500. Don't make it $110. It needs to be significantly low. You need something that is just like a add-on. You're just adding on something. It should be a lower in price. Now, is this something that everybody follows as a rule? No. I'm giving you a general rule of thumb. Just giving you what most people do, not what everybody does. For upsell, what an upsell is, now we're saying once this particular product is purchased, so if we choose a product and say, okay, well, we want to sell this product right now, I'm going to do this one right here. So boom, $99. What is this? We got a product here. It looks like a bag. Okay, I ain't going to do all this extra stuff right here except for, say, test. I'm just going to take test, create offer, boom. So now we have the post-purchase offer. We can say, if they accept this, right, after they purchase this product and it goes to the next screen, if they accept this offer, maybe we want to offer them something else, another product. If they don't accept this offer, let's offer them a lower tier product. That's why they call it a downsell. So we have an upsell and then we have a downsell. This is an upsell. This first one is an upsell. The second one is a second upsell. Be careful with this, y'all. And notice how SureCart's not giving you the ability to do a third upsell. Why? Because it's a general rule of thumb. The more upsells you do, the more you're going to piss people off. And the more they're going to abandon, and we'll get to that part in a minute, abandon the checkout experience. They're going to be gone because now they're angry. Like, what are you doing? You're doing too much. So you only want to do one upsell if you're starting off and then do one downsell. This upsell can be a higher tier product, right? It can be a higher tier product. Downsell should never be. So if you have an upsell that's $500, don't make your downsell $2,000. That's foolish. And I can't tell you how many people, they don't know that. They don't think that way. So I'm just giving you the mindset of, you got to think that way. Don't do that. Don't make this more than this or more than this. But you can always do what you want to do, how you want to do it. I'm just giving y'all some game right now. And then we can choose the priority, but we ain't gonna get into that. We saving that for everything else. I just want to give you all the gist of order bumps and upsells, and to know that upsells, all of this is upsell. This everything besides buying the main product. So if they have, even in their checkout experience, so say that they have like 10 things in their cart. See how I have one thing in my cart right now? Now I have two of the same thing. Even if I had 10 things in my cart, this is technically not upsell. Now, some of y'all may see, oh, well, a person added this in their cart, then they added that in their cart, they added that in their cart. You know, I upsold them. No, you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an upsell, technically. Upsell would be once they get into the checkout, interface, right? Once they get to the checkout interface and they're getting ready to check out, and now you're selling them. Now we're in the upsell process here, whether it's an order bump or after they purchase, and then they see another screen that says, hey, do you want to get this thing too? Upsell, right? Oh, no, you don't want to get that. You said no, downsell. You don't want anything at all? Cool, we just gonna sell you this $24 thing and that's it. Now, here's the magic when it comes to the functionality of why people who don't understand that the upsell process, it's magic and it's functionality heavy more than anything, because the functionality behind this is once a person clicks this button to purchase, their credit card information is already there. That means they're already hot. Their wallet is already out. Their credit card is already in the hand of the thing. Then you're asking them, hey, do you want to buy this thing too? You already got their credit card information. They don't need to give it to you again. For a user or a person purchasing, that is convenient for them. I don't want to have to give you my numbers again. That's going to make me angry. That's going to make me abandon or leave the process. Something that you really want to think about when it comes to upsells and understand the magic and functionality. A tool is not a good tool if a person has to put their credit card information again after they already put their credit card information in. It's not a good tool for upsell. I know that could be, against how some people think. I'm just letting y'all know it is what it is. That's not a good tool for upsell. The upsell tool you're using, the functionality, the magic behind it should be after they put their credit card information in, they should not have to do it again, but you should be able to continue to sell them products. That's the juice. You got the juice now. Let's see what you do with it. So that's key right there. I just showed you SureCart on how it does its forms, its custom forms, as well as how it does its upsells and its order bumps, right? Those are key things. Obviously, in order to do an upsell or order bump, you have to create a product. You got to have a product to sell. How are you going to upsell something when you don't have the main sale ready, I guess? I don't know. But that's what the product is right there, okay? So that's key right there. Now, for WooCommerce, let's go to WooCommerce. I'm going to install plugins. I'm going to deactivate SureCart. Now, although I'm deactivating SureCart, you still see the shop page here, the dashboard, checkout. I deactivated the plugin, but the pages that it made are still there. So that's something you need to notate. The reason why this is important, because when I activate WooCommerce, it's going to automatically make its own shop pages too. That's something that you have to recognize and understand, because I know that can confuse some people, especially those who are switching over from SureCart to WooCommerce or from WooCommerce to SureCart. You got to clean up house. You got to understand the difference between the two, or else you're going to mess up your whole house. And next thing you know, the water's going to be leaking. You're going to need a plumber. We can go there, but we ain't going to go there yet. So let me go back to plugins, install plugins, and I'm going to activate WooCommerce. Now, once I activate it, it's going to take me through the onboarding experience, and we're going to skip past this because we don't need all this. We don't need all that. Come on. Skip got it set up. Who cares? I don't care what region. Boom, go to my store. Turning on the lights. I don't know what lights are being turned on. All right, let's go back to pages. See, didn't I tell you? We was gonna get some new pages. How do we know which ones are WooCommerce and which ones are SureCart? Can you guess? I'll let you guess. Time's up. All right, we see this little indication right here. Because WooCommerce is activated, we see cart page, checkout page, my account page, and shop page right there. Now, here's the thing. This is what's interesting. Only because I deactivated SureCart first, WooCommerce just used the shop page. It would create a separate shop page, another one, if I didn't deactivate. They can't have both, so I'm just letting y'all know that. That's something that could be really confusing for people. Same thing with my account. We have dashboard and we have my account. These are the same thing, but they're called two different things. SureCart, WooCommerce. See? WooCommerce. But because we don't have SureCart on here, we don't see nothing. So my account, WooCommerce, SureCart calls it customer dashboard. So that's just something for you to know. Then checkout. See, we have two checkouts. So isn't it interesting that it didn't make a new shop page, but it definitely made a new checkout page because we have an old checkout right here. Checkout, cart, empty, boom. So it's another thing for you to notate. And then WooCommerce makes a cart page. SureCart doesn't do that. SureCart has a cart widget, a slide out widget. Now we have a cart page right here. People don't understand that this itself is a funnel. It's an old school way of a funnel. It's a little cumbersome, but this is a funnel. This is a funnel. So let me skip out of this. First, we'd have a product, then we have a cart, then we have the account, or we would have the checkout, excuse me. So we have our cart page, checkout. Now, if you don't have any products, you won't see the checkout page. So let's go to WooCommerce. Let's create a product here. Let's just create something. Let's just create a product here. Publish this. Now we have our product. So we have our product. This is the first step you want to do here. I didn't put a price on it, so there's nothing there. Let's put $10. Let's call it a virtual product, a simple product. Now let's update this. I'm going to refresh it. Now we can add it to cart. So here's the start of the sales funnel experience. Add to cart. This is my cart page. I'm going to refresh this. Now we got something in our cart. So we have products. These are some weird numbers. What the heck? We have cart here, and then proceed to checkout. Here's the checkout form here, just like SureCart. Once they check out, they'll end up in my account. Look at this, 4-step process. 1, 2, 3, 4, get your booty on the floor. Gotta get up or get down. Gotta get up or get down. All right, so this is a 4-step checkout experience right here that you all are seeing. You only want this if absolutely necessary. Like if people are just browsing, right? The whole purpose of a sales funnel is for you to direct them to where you want them to go. That's the biggest difference between a sales funnel and a shop. When people are in shop mode, you don't bother them. You ever been shopping before? Like the moment that you walk into that fashion store or that clothing store, whatever the case is, and people start asking you questions like, hello, ma'am, hello, sir, can I help you? And you're like, man, I'm just browsing. That's shop form right there. That's shop. Sales funnel is as if you walk into that store with a rope. You can only walk this way, and you can only walk that way. You can only see. That's more of a sales funnel because you're only going in one direction. That's when you're thinking about sales funnels. With WooCommerce out the box, you can't do that, not easily. That's why you have to pair it with some type of plugin, a third-party plugin or tool in order to get that sales funnel-esque experience and to add upsells and order bumps or bump orders or whatever the case you want to call it. You got to have something else. So it's key here that, for instance, if I go to plugins, install plugins, let's add Cartflows, for example. So I'm going to activate Cartflows. Now, here's the thing. If y'all didn't know, because some of y'all probably know watching this, and I get it. It's all good. Do I really want to go through this whole thing? No, I don't. Yeah, we don't want to go through all that. Cartflows and SureCart is owned by the same team. Cartflows is a solution directly for WooCommerce users, and SureCart is a standalone, it's on its own, it doesn't need any other extensions type of solution. Plus, it's a headless plugin versus WooCommerce and Cartflows. This is on your WordPress website. It's self-hosted. If you delete your website, you delete your data. That's the best way to say it. With SureCart, if you delete your WordPress website, you can always still go to the SureCart website and you can still see your products. You can still see your data because it's hosted off of WordPress. It's like they're just showing it on WordPress. They're only showing you the stuff on WordPress, but it's not hosted on WordPress. That's one of the biggest differences between the two. However, in this situation, Cartflows and WooCommerce work together. So for example, we see create new funnel. It used to say create new flow, so I'm glad that they stopped using flow from Progressive's name and use funnel because it makes it way more clear of what to do. Now, if I want to create new funnel, I will click this here. I can start from scratch. I'll do test fun because ain't funnels fun. You can't spell funnel without fun. And then we have redirect. See, we have steps. I've also been using the word steps on purpose. I'm trying to throw in some lingo to help kind of get you familiarized, right? Plant some seeds. I'm not getting too deep yet, but I'm still wanting to plant some seeds with y'all. So we have a landing page, a checkout, and a thank you. Now you notice that it says upgrade to pro in order to do these funnel steps. So we ain't gonna do all that right now, all right? We're going to just do add step, and we're going to say a landing, create step. A landing page is typically the page that people land on first before they get into the checkout experience. Sometimes they put the form on the landing page, sometimes they don't. With Cartflows, in order for you to see this information, you have to upgrade to pro. Okay, and in order to add more steps, you also got to upgrade to pro. We're using the free version right now. All right, so with Cartflows, right now, we have a landing page, a checkout, and a thank you right here, okay? If we wanted to edit this, we can click open settings, and now we have our settings. We can change the slug, we have a step. So this is the landing page. We're only talking about the landing page. That's not necessarily the meat and potatoes, so I'm not worried about that right now. But we can also edit this step, like edit the page if we want to by clicking this. And what this will do is take us here to a new post. We don't want to do that either right now. What we want to do is open up the settings here and we want to add a product. So for instance, it says find products. We have none. You can add or you can create. We're going to create, add new product, new test 1. How much is it worth? 20, virtual, publish. So notice how it opened up a new interface. Now, this is new because Cartflows didn't always do this. Cartflows has not always done this. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm a Cartflows fan, but then when SureCart came out, I kind of moved over. Now, I ain't gonna lie. It's not because I don't like Cartflows or WooCommerce, but I was like, ooh, I like the idea of having things consolidated. That's just me. But I'm teaching y'all got options, okay? And if I need to go back to WooCommerce and Cartflows for whatever reason, which I most likely probably won't happen, but for whatever reason, I will. For now, this is how you do this. So we have our product here. Let's see, test. See right here, boom. So I could have, chosen my other product. We have a product here. We have order bumps, but that's pro. Checkout form. Now this is where Cartflows gives WooCommerce more flexibility and more leeway because I can enable the coupon field. I can collapse coupon field. I can enable ship address if I don't want that on. Enable Google address autocomplete. You got to add your API key to do that. I can enable the form editor here. Again, with WooCommerce, you can't do that. Some of y'all may want to use Cartflows just because it allows you to take off that extra information that WooCommerce makes you ask for in the checkout for a virtual product. And you're like, why am I asking them for all this information and it's a virtual product? It's because you don't have a third-party plugin hooked on your website. So Cartflows gives you the ability to be able to do that. We have the billing fields and we have the shipping fields. I love this. Let's see, can we reorder this on the free version? Yes, we can. Look at that. Yes, we can. Beautiful. Again, this wasn't always like this. Some of this used to be in the pro version and they made some updates once they started getting more pro features. I love that. Form heading, boom, we have that right here. I'm not gonna go too deep in it. I'm just letting y'all know. Place order button. What is the order button? Like when they press the order, what do you say on it? Boom, right there. I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna save that. Dynamic offers, the pro version, and then settings if we wanna do settings here. So this is a great way for you to add a sales funnel experience using WooCommerce. You make the product in WooCommerce, or you can make it in Cartflows, but you have to have WooCommerce activated. That's the key thing. You can't use Cartflows without WooCommerce activated. And then from there, able to create a funnel. If I wanted to edit this right here, I can do so right here as well too. So on the thank you page, what's important on the thank you page? Things like your order review, your order details, the billing. On the thank you page, people want to see, the receipt. What did they get? This is what that's for. This is a funnel. At the most simplistic way to think about it, a funnel is a landing page, a checkout page, a thank you page. Everything else is extra. That's when you get into the weeds of things. So I just showed you how we did that with SureCart. This is how you do that with WooCommerce. Now here's the thing, unless you use the pro version of Cartflows, right, WooCommerce, then you'll be able to add upsell. So if I try to do so right now, let's say upsell right quick, create step from scratch, see how it says you gotta get a higher plan with Cartflows. So you really can't do so. If I wanna import this right here, again, higher plan. So that's the thing. Right now, I'm not able to add upsells on the pro version. If I were you, while SureCart has their upsell feature in beta, because there are pro features with SureCart only as well, I was using the free version of SureCart and didn't let me add an upsell to it, but it said it in beta. So if you're watching this video and you just get into the e-commerce world and you want to do some quick upsells without having to pay for the pro version of Cartflows or whatever the case is, you can get into the SureCart while it's in beta, get your money up, and then pay for the pro version, right? Because upsells and order bumps, I'm telling y'all, that changes the whole game of increasing your average order value, increasing more money in your pockets by adding more things people could buy in the checkout experience. Not in the shop mode, but the checkout experience. Here we have store checkout right here. So we have a global store checkout. If you all wanted to use, instead of WooCommerce's global checkout, you can have a global checkout through Cartflows. Again, it's still using WooCommerce, but it's through Cartflows. And you have more customization up here. You can do some really cool things when you add on other plugins or other features from plugins in tandem with whatever experience you want to create when it comes to your e-commerce experience. So if you want to go through the SureCart way, or you want to go through the WooCommerce and Cartflows way, it does not matter. When it comes to your marketing and sales funnels initiatives, I mentioned adding on Cadence Block Pro, Cadence Conversions, and then Cadence Pro theme. Now, some of y'all, this may not be relevant. And for some of y'all, you could use other tools that you're already using to create some of these same features. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I just wanna show you all, this is how you get a little freaky with it. This is how you freak it up a little bit, okay? So if you know anything about cooking, sometimes you gotta add a little bit more spice to that dish. You gotta freak it up a little bit. And this is how you do that. Now, when it comes to creating your sales funnels, Cartflows helps you do that with WooCommerce, and SureCart has that natively out the box. Regardless of which way you're gonna go, just to add a little bit more context to it, when we create sales funnels and we wanna create longer sales funnels, more customized sales funnels, more personalized sales funnels, sometimes we wanna add on features such as what Cadence calls hooked elements. For example, if I go to Appearance, I go to Cadence right here, and I turn on this hooked elements right here. There are other times where you may wanna have a conditional header, but for right now, I have hooked elements on. And if I wanna customize this, I can add sections that I wouldn't be able to add otherwise to WordPress. I can get really, really custom and say, hey, I want to create a template or add a content section within my product area or within a checkout or within a certain stage of the process of the funnel. I don't have to just rely on the tools that I mentioned before. I can add more things that'll give me other ways to customize the experience. And I'm going to go deeper on this later, but I just want to let you know this is how you do that. After that, so for example, I'm gonna add a countdown timer. Just give you guys examples. So we have countdown timer, and then we have, here's the overall element right here. So here's the block, this is the block right here, and then here is the element right here. So for instance, if I hit this button right here, this element settings right here, I can then say where I want this to be placed. And so what I love about this, and trust me, other tools do this as well too. Grade Suite is one that does this. I think maybe Astra Pro, but we can see WooCommerce products right here. See how I can add more content information between them? And so that way I can create these templates and then have these templates show on certain sections. Before add a cart, after add a cart. Like I said, this is how you get freaky deaky with it. And this is how you do more things than you're able to do out the box, even with those plugins. But this is a pro add-on extension to Cadence's theme. Just know that their hooked elements is a pro add-on extension, but you can do this. WooCommerce archive pages or archive, however you want to say it. WooCommerce account page, WooCommerce cart page. You see all this extra functionality that I'm getting to be able to customize WooCommerce? It's not because of Cartflows. It's because I'm using Cadence's hooked elements feature right here. So that's key. That's something that you want to think about. I'm going to leave this because hopefully you get that example. And then from there, let's go back. So again, that came off of Cadence Pro. And then from there, we also have Cadence Conversions. This is their pop-up builder. Again, whatever tool you're using to create pop-ups or slide-ins, you can use your tool, but I like to use Cadence's Conversions. If I go to Cadence Conversions, I go to all conversion items, add conversion. This is where you combine the form, the concept of having a form with something else that comes in based on a trigger, based on a condition, based on something happening, an action taking. This happens next. So we have a pop-up right here, and I'm going to start blank, and it says add blocks. So normally what you want to do is you would add a form block. I would add the advanced form block or the form block. The subscribe with name form. How about we just use the one we already created? Select. Now we have a pop-up with a form on it. And then from there, let me see. We click this button right here. We open up our document overview. We get in our list. We click this. And now we got all these settings. We have our launch settings. How does the pop-up pop up? And it doesn't have to be a pop-up. It could be a slide-in. It could be a banner. But how is it triggered? Then we have conversion setting. Is there a conversion goal? When somebody submits it, when they click a button, is it a pop-up, slide-in, banner? Right now, it's a pop-up. Then we have the repeat control. You know, how often do we want it to repeat itself? Every 30 days, 45 days. If they reach the goal, when do we expire? I mean, these are a lot of settings that we get with this pop-up builder right here. What pages do we want to actually show this pop-up on? I could change this, take this form out, delete it, and create a whole new form here. So maybe I want to create a new form. Create new form. Maybe I want to do this form right here, make it dark, create. Now we have a form on our pop-up. This is also a part of the marketing funnel experience. So when you combine this with things like hooked elements or things like sections that you can place based on conditions, when you combine the way you're able to create easy ways for people to check out, or you can create a multi-step checkout. This is how you create marketing and sales funnels with WordPress. And I just wanted to show you all this real quick because a lot of people, they don't think that WordPress can do this. They think that they have to have another sales funnel tool on top of WordPress or outside of WordPress in order to create funnels with WordPress. And I just showed you, you don't need anything else. I love the fact that I can turn WordPress, for instance, and create a whole ClickFunnels-like experience, even better with WordPress with these tools that I'm using. So I just wanted to show you that real quick before we got off here. So hopefully that makes sense as far as marketing and sales funnels are concerned when it comes to an overview. Again, we are going to get deeper in the official Start Fresh on WordPress course. But I just wanted to let y'all know these are the topics that we're going to be talking about in more depth once that course releases. All right? My name is Maestro Stevens, or Iconic Templates, and I'm out. Peace.